Good Friday morning. This is the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Friday, May 17th. Looking at precipitation over the past week, most of the wetness has been confined to far southern areas. Southern Nevada, the Arizona Strip, southwest Utah. Further north, things have been quite dry. On the right-hand side, you can see the above and below normal potential or precipitation of about 300% or higher of normal for this time of year in southern areas, but bone dry, less than 25% of normal to near zero further north where you see the dark red colors. In terms of our 1,000-hour heavier fuels, you can see they've dried up quite a bit across the western portion of the Great Basin, but across most of the eastern portion of the Great Basin, things are quite moist. These green and dark green areas indicate anywhere values in the teens to 20s or even above 30% in that dark green area for heavy fuels. Lots of these areas are higher terrain regions that are still under several feet of snowpack. In terms of snow, you can see that snowpack on the right-hand side and new snowfall on the left over the past 72 hours across the Sierra. These bright yellow colors, up to a foot of snow, higher terrain above 7,000 feet. We've had some in the Wind River range of Wyoming, but coming soon to the higher terrain of Utah, colder air is moving in as well as parts of Idaho as well and more of western Wyoming. Over the next 2 or 3 days, there will be a more significant snowfall. And on the right-hand side in those areas, lots of snowpack still from the Uintas, highest areas of the Wasatch, much of the higher terrain in western Wyoming and central Idaho still under several feet of snow. Satellite imagery shows a deep, almost a January-type low-pressure system, except now it's mid-May, pulling in tons of moisture from the south where you see the enhanced clouds, and also underneath this deep low, quite a bit of cold air. Snow levels under this low are probably down in the 5,000 to 6,000 foot range, and another low further up into the Pacific waiting in its wake. So without further ado, the upper level maps for later today, we see that low pressure still here. Green areas indicate cloudy, cool weather dominating the Great Basin. Excellent overall dispersion if you can burn, if maybe you're burning piles of some sort and you're not getting precipitated on. Overall transport winds coming out of the northwest, strongest with gusts of over 25-30 across Nevada, even stronger gusts of 45 or higher across parts of the Snake River Plain. Vertical mixing best in the reddish to purple colors. That'll be mostly in the southern area. On Saturday, there's one low pressure departs the Great Basin to the east, another one moving in from the Pacific in this El Nino pattern, so more rain and mountain snow for the Sierra front into the higher terrain of northern Nevada. It'll be pushing on eastwards through the coming days. Again, excellent overall dispersion on the right-hand side. Transport winds really strong out of the southwest, over 50 miles per hour in the lee of the Sierra into much of Nevada. Lighter winds across the Great Basin on Saturday. Mixing heights best in the central areas to further to the east. Now on Sunday, low pressure centered over northern Nevada. So again, the entire Great Basin under cloudy, cool conditions under that green mid-level moisture. Excellent overall dispersion combined with moderate to strong transport winds on the left and very good vertical mixing on the right in those yellowish oranges to red purple colors. Precipitation 3-day totals from Friday into early Monday. You can see the heaviest amounts, a ½ inch to an inch in those blue areas, so much of the higher terrain from the Sierra front. Ruby Mountains of Nevada into the Wasatch and much of Idaho, western Wyoming, a ½ inch to an inch and a half of precipitation. A lot of this above 7,000 feet before falling in the form of snow, so another 6 to 12 inches on top of an already above normal snowpack. Into next week on Monday, still lingering moisture, a very broad trough of low pressure. This one's weakening, but another one will strengthen as it pushes off the Pacific into the Pacific Northwest. On the right-hand side, excellent overall dispersion. Now on Tuesday, that load from the Pacific Northwest drops down and cuts off into a very deep low pressure area just north of Vegas. Again, the entire Great Basin covered in clouds and scattered precipitation. Excellent overall dispersion. And then on Wednesday, again, that low pressure meanders and is over central Utah. Continuous precipitation and snow levels under this low probably in the 5 to 7,000 foot range. So more snow accumulation, maybe another 4 to 8 inches middle of the week in the higher terrain of Utah and probably Wyoming and Idaho, Nevada as well. Excellent overall dispersion. You can see the counterclockwise flow coming out of the east, northeast, then out of the north over Nevada, then whipping back out of the south across the Arizona Strip and into eastern Utah. And then on Thursday, that upper level low still lingering, starting to weaken a little bit, but still lots of clouds around, a few breaks of sun, still some spotty showers, still cool, still very high humidity. So this cool, moist pattern. Precipitation, this will be from later Monday through Wednesday. Another round of a half inch to an inch of precipitation. We see the shades of blue. Very few areas that have missed precipitation. We see that in our total 7-day precipitation accumulations. This is for the next 7 days total. Heaviest amounts in these red areas, up to 3 to 4 inches. Across the higher terrain of northern Utah, parts of southern and central Idaho, western Wyoming, the Sierra Front. Again, something we normally see on the map in January, not in the latter half of May. But again, it's been an unusual year with the lingering El Nino. And this pattern has no signs of changing. We go from May 24th to May 30th, the latter half of May in this 8 to 14-day outlook. Much below normal temperatures, again, across the entire Great Basin, significantly cooler than normal, also significantly wetter than normal, especially across Nevada. So moisture continues. Try to find burn windows where you can. It looks like a slower start to fire season in just about all areas. We are concerned about the heavier grass crop and light fuels across our southern areas and lower elevations, but we'll need a couple of weeks of sunny, dry weather to get it to grow out and cure out. And that's not on the horizon just yet. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day. Next briefing will be this coming Monday.